Hello, you guys. Welcome to Timber Ranch. Amber here. So today's the day I'm finally giving you guys that as promised Meet Me video. A little bit of background on me, how I got into horses, and how we ended up here at this property in Ava, Missouri. All right, let's go back to high school. I had the privilege of attending a high school, kind of like a private school situation / boarding school in the panhandle of Texas and outside of Amarillo. And from there, I learned a foundation of horsemanship, along with other many skills and traits. I rodeoed. I actually worked at the horse barn, so we would fix fence. We would train horses. Helped with roping practice. I got a lot of experience and exposure and knowledge, and that was the base for my horsemanship knowledge while I was in high school. Fast forward, I didn't buy my first horse until about 8 years ago, and that was Carbon. And I did not set out even to go looking to buy a horse at the time. I was in a totally different season of my life and was not actively in horses at all at the time. What happened was a lady who owns a horse barn in the town I was living in was looking for some barn help. So I started volunteering my time there and worked a little bit on the side also for her to, just get back in the horse world and to spend some time in a barn again. Fast forward about a month, it became very clear to me that there was an issue with a horse in the barn there. He was 2 years old. The owners of the barn and the owner of the horse were not turning that horse out at all. He was getting no training, no turnout time, no exposure to anything other than his stall, with the exception that the farrier visit was the only time he got handled. Longest story ever on him was the guy who bought the horse to board in the barn made an arrangement with the barn owners to train Carbon to be able to lead and be able to be handled, and then he wanted to breed him because of his papers when he grew up. Well, they became fearful of him at some point, and by the time I showed up, he was 2, and they weren't doing anything with him at all, except the farrier. So I ended up convincing the owner to spontaneously sell him to me. I was not set up or equipped at home for horses at the time. I did luckily have a property at the time I could have horses at. So I boarded him there for 2 months and put a foundation back on him and got him turned out every day. And then I had to just get away from that barn altogether. There was just so much negative going on there that I just had to get away. So I ended up taking out a loan to build a stall on my property in my garage at the time. I had a huge workshop garage that I built a stall in. And then I obviously had to buy fencing and all of those type of things. So I did eventually just bring him home, and I thought my life from there was going to be breeding Tennessee Walkers because he was a stud and he had great papers. So that is not exactly what happened. After getting Carbon, that year completely changed in the most dramatic way. I ended up rehabbing and rescuing 14 horses out of pocket on that property in our first year. So I ended up not deciding that breeding was a chapter for us anymore. So on Carbon, I did geld him at some point because it was very clear that my calling and my heart were driven somewhere else. I had already been a dog lover and been rescuing packs of dogs. I think at the time I had 5. So it was already a huge part of me that I knew was not going to be breeding horses. So then I was at that property for 4 years, and then I was graced with the craziest opportunity of a lifetime to completely uproot and move away. Without getting too personal, I just had family commitments to like guardianships of family members, and my whole life had been chasing my family around, which was fine. That was my chapter and my season to be there. But at the end of that season, something told me to go online and look up horse properties for sale outside of my state, which was Illinois. And this property here in Ava, Missouri popped up on my Google search, and I promptly looked it over. I came down here to see it, and I ultimately ended up buying this property, and this property is about 8 hours away from my previous property in Illinois. I had no connection to the area other than, honestly, I found this house. There is an aunt and an uncle to my husband who happens to live in the same town, but I didn't know that at the time that we found this property. So it was kind of cool, coincidence that they live kind of nearby. But we've been here now at this property for 6 years. And another bunch of questions that I always get asked is, how do I know like what horses and what dogs to take in? Well, I will be very blunt that over the years it has definitely depended on our financial situation. You know, I really take my role in this community and this horse world seriously, as far as someone who has the time, the space, and the energy to commit to the horses who truly need the investment. I am not the girl that goes to, you know, horse ads on Facebook and buys a bunch of good, friendly, usable horses. That isn't me. In the last year, I've taken on 4 that are special requirement horses alone. Plus I have a blind mare. And you know, that's really where my calling is. And if I hit the lottery, all I can say is that there'd probably be a lot more horses here and dogs that I could help. But you know, my goals and this season I am extremely grateful for, and I have been blessed to help 4 in the last year, you know, welcome them to the farm this last year. And they are all permanent residents at this point in time. Every herd member here is one to stay. Whether I do start rescuing, rehabbing, and rehoming again is up in the air at this point. Right now, I'm full, as I'm going to take on at this chapter, because everyone here, like I said, is a permanent resident. So I'm dug deep on the 10 that I have, and if that's, it really is a blessing to be able to help that many, you know? So I'm grateful to have everyone here. And right now, everybody has a different story. And I do plan to start showing more with each horse when I do work with them, so you guys can get to know all of them also. Sorry guys, on the fly, I have to do it this way. I literally cannot force myself to sit down, write it down, because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to overthink it, I'm going to write it down, and then I'm not going to even use it when I get out here. But I love this community, and I am forever grateful for the people who took a risk and used your time to support us. It truly means the world to me. Like I said, we've been doing this, I've been doing this for 10 years. So it's, you know, it's literally a lifestyle with the most persistent commitment that you could give. And it's the most fulfilling one in my life. I am super content with our season, our chapter, and the ones we've chosen to help this year. Another question I get asked about are the dogs. Am I able to help more dogs? Honestly, no. I have 8 permanent pack members now due to various behavioral reasons or psychological issues or trauma issues. I cannot rehome the 8 that I currently have, which sounds like an abominable number, but in all reality, the dump rate and owner surrender rate in this state is despicable. They literally euthanize whole litters of puppies all the time. Every small local rescue is full all the time. All the shelters are full and have waiting lists for people to return their dog. And they've started charging people money to return their dog to the shelter to hopefully slow this rate. But it just turns into people more dumping dogs. So since we've been here, I think it was 35 other dogs besides the 8. So 35 other dogs have come through this property and got rehabbed and then rehomed. It's a very unfortunate reality of my community area. And it's one I would love to make a bigger impact on someday. There is another local-ish person like me who does some dog and rescue, but again, she's very limited on what she can do. So the biggest problem in this state is that all of the mom and pop people like me who want to do something for the community literally don't have the space or the funding to help more. So they go hand in hand. One place has, only 5 acres and it can only take in so many. Another place has 30 acres but can only afford to feed 5. I mean, it's really a struggle that pulls in me in a way that I wish I could make an actual difference, on the ladder somewhere. Why is the government not funding better? But I don't want to get into all that now because there's no point. You guys know what I mean. I just feel really strongly because I've seen it over and over and over. The week I came home with my premature baby, my first day home with her, I got a mile from my house and came across 6 puppies dumped in the woods. And you just can't make this kind of stuff up. I was sick, my baby was sick, and I still had to get out and catch these 6 puppies because some heartless person couldn't look up on Google where I live or couldn't do the right thing. And it just is one of those things that really drives my passion and my persistence to keep doing this. I am making a difference for one at a time, and that is an incredible feat. Don't let anybody tell you it's not. So, with that said, I will keep doing what I am able to do. And rest assured that this farm and every inch of it will be put to maximum use someday for helping the ones who truly need it. Truly need it. But let me see what else I can say. I really don't know what else to say. I really want you guys to please ask me anything in the comments. Please. I try really hard to take the time to respond. And I really genuinely mean that. I am curious to know what you guys want to know that I haven't answered. I'm not really good at this yet. I'm still new. So I'm really confident in person, but standing in front of a camera, honestly, is just so weird for me still. But I am going to keep doing it. And I still want you to ask me all your questions. Alrighty? Well, thank you guys so much for your time, and thank you so much for being here. This has truly been an incredible journey that I didn't foresee happening when I started it. I, put a little bit of effort in it to start, and you know, then Luna happened, and all of you guys encouraged me so much that I was like, all right, I am going to push this and show up for them as strong as they're cheering. And maybe this channel will do some good here other than just listening to me talk. But I really, really do appreciate you guys so very much. And I hope you guys have the super duperest weekend. Love you all.